Happy Friday. You guys ready for the show?
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday to you all. It's almost the weekend, and we have a lot of great events coming up this weekend. And I just want to say real quick though, before I get to the weather, if you haven't done so yet, please be sure your phones are turned down or totally off, so that way they do not be picked up on a camera. Just courtesy things, like they always say at the churches and stuff. But I just thought I'd remind you of that again before I do the forecast. So anyway, here is the weather forecast and the 3 events I have for you guys. All right, is everybody ready?
Yeah. Look at this thing. Look.
All right.
Look.
The first day of the weather forecast, which is today. Some of you guys might have seen this coming in, but it's supposed to be rain, snow mix in the morning. The day's going to transition to all rain by lunchtime. But then it's not going to be like an all-day thing. But by the evening rush, we'll clear out, dry out. But the clouds will stick around, and it will be the high of only 41. Some stations have said 38, 39, but I got from weather.com that's going to be 41. However, whenever we do get the rain snow mix, we're getting feedback here. We don't have to worry about it sticking to any of the roads. However, whatever snow does come down, we might see on some vehicles. So, nothing to be really too concerned about. But Saturday is going to be the high of 42 and the low 32. So both tonight and tomorrow night is going to be at the freezing point. And then Sunday is going to be the high of 55 and a low of 40. So, Sunday, it's like a 13 to 15 degree increase compared to today, tomorrow. And then it gets about 4 degrees more warmer next Monday with a high of near 59 to 60. But it would be in the 60s the farther south you go from here. But otherwise, long story short, temperatures increase at the beginning of the week. And then towards the middle and the end of next week, we have a frontal system that will be coming down from the north near Canada and all them places. And it's going to bring the chance of snow likely to the area on Thursday. However, it's going to be the high of 43 on Thursday, so I don't see the snow sticking to anything. So, just letting you guys know, if you see snowflakes falling next week, don't be going, oh, I'm going to have to stay home today because it's going to be too bad. But, it's going to be the high 43 that day, so I don't see it sticking to the ground. So anyway, so that's pretty much your weather forecast. And the weather in play, like I was saying though, Sunday's going to be a great day. Miami's going to be warmer for the big event, which Ronnie will touch base on in a few minutes. But yeah, it's going to be a great day for the event in Miami. So yeah. Anyway, here are the other 3 events I have for you guys.
Oh no.
Just as a reminder, today at 1 o'clock at Redwood Cafeteria is the Super Bowl party. And that's in celebration for Super Bowl 54, which will be touched base on more later. But we're having a Super Bowl party here at Redwood today at 1 o'clock in the Redwood Cafeteria. And there's going to be all kinds of stuff going on, watching football and snacks, drinks, and what have you, all that fun stuff. And the other event, for those of you that are into dogs, there's Super Power Dogs film down at the IMAX Theater at Union Terminal from now through March 13th. And it's going to be talking about talking about how dogs that rescue people. It's gonna be talking about how dogs that rescue people, and basically the extraordinary things that they do, and helping save people's lives in natural disasters and stuff like that. And the third one. Oh, this Sunday is Groundhog's Day. So, what that is, guys, if he sees a shadow, 6 more weeks of winter. But if he doesn't, but listen, if you don't see a shadow, then it means early spring. So, we'll just have to wait till Sunday to see what really happens with that. So. And that's gonna be held in Philadelphia. That's gonna be held in Philadelphia, so you can probably watch it on TV or whatever. But those are the 3 events. And just as a reminder too, due to being Super Bowl weekend, there will be a lot of police officers out cracking down on drunk driving. And just to let y'all know too, once the game is over on Sunday, please, I encourage you to let your fellow relatives know not to be doing anything crazy like tipping cars over, burning mattresses, and that kind of thing. Because that's usually what happens after a Super Bowl game. So just, common courtesy for everybody around you. Love you guys, and I'll see you next week.
Going on this weekend. Let's see what's going on in the sport.
Thank you, Scott. This Sunday is come up for wait for us at 9 p.m. They were at number 9 at 11 a.m. Seahawks. Come for they were at D4 at 9 p.m. KU at Green Bay at 9 p.m. Kentucky at McGuire at 2 p.m. Our state face India at 2 p.m. Come up for our state face Michigan at 7 p.m. Number 13, Kentucky at Bourbon at 3 p.m. Come up for number 13, Kentucky at the Dierking State at 9 p.m. Big X base number 20 Houston at 10 p.m. Come up for Big X at number 22 William State at 7 p.m. Now for sports, go back to the sky.
Sounds like a good day in sports too. So everybody put your big hands together for Cammy Dierking.
I love this song.
Good to see you, Ray.
Great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. How's everybody out there?
Question for us today?
What's that?
You ready to answer some questions for us today?
I'm ready to answer any question you throw at me.
The first question is, you have worked in TV as a reporter and news anchor for 38 years. How did you get your start and what was your first job?
Wow. Okay, you're right. 38 years in broadcasting, and I started because of my dad, Dierking. He played in the NBA. He played professional basketball. Before that, he played at the University of Cincinnati. Go Bearcats! From the NBA, he took a job as a color commentator on TV doing games for UC. And so as a child, as a teenager, I would go with him to those games. And I would sit in the production truck, or sometimes I'd sit beside him and keep stats. And I just fell in love with television. I thought, this is what I want to do. And that's how I got my start. Oh, my first job, you asked. In sports, I worked for Sports Time Cable Network, which was just a very small sports network in Cincinnati, and I was a production assistant. So I did anything they wanted me to. I ran and got coffee, I ripped the wire copy, I did anything they needed, ran the cameras, the teleprompter, and that was my first job.
When did you know you wanted to have a career in broadcasting?
I would say that was the time, and in fact, I loved it so much. I would take a hairbrush and I would sit in front of the mirror with a Sports Illustrated magazine, and I would read into that mirror and pretend like I was on TV. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And soon after, I actually got to work in television sports, so I just knew at a young age.
You were Cincinnati and Ohio's first female sportscaster. Was that a lot of pressure for you?
You know, I was the first female sports anchor in both the state of Nevada when I worked in Reno and in the state of Ohio when I came back to work in Cincinnati in 1988. One of the first in the country, because back then in the early 80s, there really weren't many women doing sports on TV. I wouldn't say that it was a lot of pressure from the outside on me. I put pressure on myself because I wanted to make sure that I studied harder and knew more and worked harder than anyone else in the sports business, because I didn't want anyone to doubt me. I wanted them all to take me seriously. So it was only the pressure I put on myself.
Were you nervous?
Nervous? Yeah, probably. The first couple sportscasts that I did, especially in Cincinnati, in my hometown, in front of the people I grew up with, in front of my family and friends, yes, I was very nervous. But after the first couple sportscasts, I got used to it. It was just fun. It was always a good time.
Tell us a little bit about your family, and was it hard to juggle your career with your family life?
Well, I have a wonderful family. I am married with 3 beautiful children. My husband and I have been married for almost 32 years. My daughters are 28, 26, and 24. You're 28 too. Well, one lives in Austin, Texas. One's in Denver, Colorado now. And then my youngest is here in town. And I would say it was tough when they were very young because I was doing the morning show at Channel 12 back then. So I was getting up every morning at 3 a.m. to go to work. I know, brutal, right? But luckily, I have a very wonderful, supportive husband, and so he was super helpful. And we were a team, and we got it done. And my girls, they pitched in and helped whenever they could. So yeah, I mean, it was a busy, busy time when the kids were growing up. But I wouldn't change a thing. Very rewarding.
What did the girls do for you? Like, whatever you needed help with?
How did my girls help me? Well, chores around the house for sure, keeping the house clean, their rooms clean most of the time. You know, and I think more than anything, they were supportive of whatever I wanted to do. We would figure out a way together. Like I used to do a lot of races, marathons and Ironmans and triathlons and things when they were young. So they would sometimes get on their bicycle and I would start running and then they would follow me on the bicycle with water whenever I needed it. Those kinds of things. They were always very supportive and still are of anything and everything I wanted to do. I'm very lucky. Very often, as much as I possibly can. I was just out in Denver last week visiting my middle daughter who's getting married in October, so that's exciting. Thank you. Yes, congratulations to her. And then my oldest in Austin, I usually get down there a couple times a year, and she comes up here at least once or twice a year too. So I do see him a lot, and my daughter here, obviously, I see her several times a week, so it's good.
Well, that's cool.
Question 6. After 38 years, you decided to leave TV. How did you know it was time to move on?
Well, I have been in broadcasting, as I said, 38 years, and the last 31 were at Channel 12. Can you believe that? That's a long time. I feel such gratitude. I had an amazing career. I'm proud of it, and I'm so grateful that I had such a great ride. But the reason I decided to leave is it just felt like it was time. I was ready for the next chapter. Sometimes, and maybe you can all relate to this, when you watch the news, I feel it's gotten a little bit more negative. There's a lot of hatred sometimes in the news, and I'm by nature a positive person, and it just, I don't know, it just didn't feel right anymore. It felt like it was time to move on to something where I could fill up my spirit and my soul with good things. Again, no regrets. It was a wonderful career, but it was time, and I'm so happy I made the change. Thank you.
Where did you work out before Channel 12?
Before Channel 12, I was in Reno, Nevada, and that's where I met my husband. He grew up in Carson City, Nevada, and I did sports there for a while, and then I did the news there for a while. And then I came to Cincinnati in 1988. Wait, he just said 3 years before he was born. You're making me feel old, Weather Day.
Question 7. What do you miss about working at Channel 12?
Oh, that's an easy question. What do I miss most about working at Channel 12? The people. I love my coworkers so much. I know you know a lot of them. I worked for 13 years on the morning show with John Lomax. You know John Lomax? I worked with Sheila Gray and Bob Herzog. I worked with Rob Braun for another 13 years at night as the evening anchor. John Gum, who does the weather. He's a great meteorologist. But those are just the people, some of the people that are in front of the camera. I also work with some amazing people behind the camera who I love so much too. And honestly, they made my job so much fun. I loved going to work every day to see my coworkers. It was wonderful. I do. In fact, I had dinner with Rob Braun and his wife Jennifer, my husband and I, on Wednesday night. And I talked to Sheila Gray on the phone last week, Paula Toady yesterday, I think, on the phone. So yeah, I talk to my coworkers a lot still. I love them.
Was a great basketball player at UCF and later in the NBA. What kind of influence did he have on you with your sports career?
Thank you for asking about my dad. My dad and my mom were so wonderful growing up, very supportive and encouraging of anything I wanted to do. And when I first told them I was interested in being a sportscaster on television, they didn't say, well, you know, there aren't any on TV. There aren't any other women doing it. They said, if that's what you want, you go for it, girl. And they were so supportive in that way. And then my dad, being an athlete, he inspired me from a young age. Of course, I grew up with sports, and we were all athletic in my family. We were all tall. I'm 6 feet tall. My dad was 6'10". Can you imagine how tall? And so, you know, he always encouraged us in sports, and so he was a great influence on me. And then, as I said earlier, you know, going with him to some of the games that he would broadcast, I just decided that's what I wanted to do in my life.
Where else did you travel to when you decided that, you know, when he went to some of the games?
You know, I didn't travel with him on to away games. I would go with him to the local games, you know, at UC, and that's pretty much all. But Dad and I love sports together so much, and I have 4 sisters. They all love sports, but no one as much as I do. So I was always my dad's buddy when it came to watching any sports event, whether we were there live at a Bengals game, a Reds game, or watching it on TV. Who did? Yeah, I was kind of my dad's sports buddy, so it was a lot of fun.
Question now. What are you doing to keep busy these days?
Oh, well, thank you for asking what I'm doing these days. I have a brand new career. I am a personal trainer, so I help people stay fit and active. I work at 5 Seasons Family Sports Club. There are locations in Crestview Hills, Kentucky, Dayton, Chicago, but I work at the Cincinnati location in Sins Township. I go there every day in my gym clothes, and I help clients stay fit and active. We work out on the machines, we lift weights, you know, we do some cardio together, and it's really been a passion of mine for my whole life is to stay fit and active. I've had a couple of joint replacements. I have 2 fake knees and a fake hip, but I'm still active every day. And so I figured if I could do that, I can inspire maybe other people to do the same. And so I mostly help older people or people with special issues like I have, help them stay active, and it's a lot of fun and very rewarding.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you tell us your thoughts about your visit to Redwood so far?
My visit to Redwood has been the highlight of 2020 so far. I'll tell you what, all the hugs that I've gotten, the high fives have been wonderful. You all have been so welcoming and so lovely, and I've had the best time here. I was familiar with Redwood beforehand. In the past, I was part of different fundraisers that were held, so I was familiar with what Redwood does, but this is my first time visiting, and I love it so much, and I hope that maybe sometime I can come back and see you all again. I love your enthusiasm and your smiles, and you all have just brightened my day. Thank you.
I have a very special I want to send out a very special happy birthday to Taylor. Is she here?
Whose birthday? Oh, right there.
Taylor Hughes.
Taylor, happy birthday. Can we sing happy birthday?
Yeah, go ahead.
1, 3, 1, 2, 3.
That's our show for today. I want to thank the weather doctor for the weather. Arnie Morgan for the score. Very big thank you to Cammy for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody.